got me going crazy. I've been thinking about you non-stop. Been wanting you in my bed, baby, ain't no lie. I want you deep inside, not just inside, but all up in my mind.
Jazz and more, you are a shining star no matter who you are. Don't let nobody tell you anything different. Because big picture, it's not what they see when they look at you. It's what you see when you look at you. Don't let nobody's impression and interpretation of you become your reality. Got it, Angel?
I got it.
Welcome to 91.5 Jazz and More. And I want to say I am truly impressed with you. Your bio is impeccable. I mean, and the passion for your pursuit is moving.
Thank you.
So we were going back and forth in the social media world, and I said, sure, I'd love to have you as a guest. And who wouldn't want an angel on their show? And it's Farrah Angel, right?
Angel Farrah.
Angel Farrah, and Farrah means joy.
Correct.
Correct. Closer to the mic. I know you used to putting that horn in front of there, so I want to talk about the fact that I'm impressed that you're a female saxophonist, or what is that instrument you play?
It is a saxophone. I play different instruments as well, but saxophone is my main instrument.
Is your feature. Where do you get the passion to play the saxophone from?
It's kind of crazy. Episode of The Simpsons inspired me.
You just never know.
Yeah, it was literally the episode where Bleeding Gums Murphy was dying, and I was seeing the Simpsons episodes out of order. They never really show them in order, and that episode really touched me because I had a lot of black mentors in my life at the time. My dad wasn't really around at the time either, so that really hit me in a way. Then I started just having this, I don't know, it came out of nowhere. I seen that, and I was like, I'm going to play that. I want to play that. That episode inspired me a lot.
Now, I've always been impressed with musicians because if you have that gift, that innate gift to be a musician, you stick with it. Those who just, it doesn't come naturally for, it's particularly hard, they usually give up. So there's a reason why you're going. You're blessed in that arena. Now, I've heard that you've got yourself some projects you've already completed.
Yes.
Tell us about it and your pursuit in putting that together.
So I have a few projects. The first one I released was the album La Única. Second one is an EP in English and in Spanish. And Spanglish called Regalito. I have one coming out soon called Future Me, Present Me. Some of the jazz tracks I have featured on La Única are Next to Me. I composed that and wrote that. So it's a really cool track. I wrote the lyrics for it as well. And another one is on my EP, Regalito. It's called Lucky. So I like to call myself an improv saxophonist. I do read.
Let me get my Duolingo app out here because you kicking that Spanish like that.
Regalito's kind of like little gift.
Okay,
like,
okay.
Dame un regalito.
Comprende. Okay, well, listen, I tell you one thing. What you're doing and how you're going about it is amazing. And we're going to talk about where you perform. And because of the way you perform, you're in demand quite a bit. And I definitely want to let the audience know more information they want to find out about you. Where could they go?
So they can find me on my website, Angel Farrah, still under construction. You can also find me on Instagram at O.G. Angel Farrah. The periods are dots, just to let you know. You can also find me on Facebook under Angel Farrah. Just type in Angel Farrah. You'll definitely see me. Google me.
Okay. All right. We're going to be back with you a little later. Stick around. It's 91.5 Jazz and More.
Is playing more jazz than ever before.
We talking about
That's what love is, or how I come to view it. Just feel this, but at times I still get through the lie. Desire empire, take my mind. I pray for the day that he will come to my rescue and make right. Then the ends with me.
I can play by ear, yes, but I do need time to like sit with the song. But I can learn by ear.
91.5 Jazz and More side by side, the afternoon drive, and very blessed to have a super talented young lady in the studio. just all of 30 years young and multi-talented. Miss Angel Farrah is in the studio, and we'll be joining her in another 15 minutes. Stick around for the second part of the interview. And during the course of dialoguing with her, found out she has a twin sister, and she played some music for me. I'll tell you, her sister's playing the guitar and the bass, and she could do the keyboards. And she says, "Galaxy, you need to talk to her. She don't want to do anything. Listen, you have a gift. Don't take it to the cemetery. Share it with the world. All right? You can have your cake and eat it too when you give and do what you do." Hey, it's a marvelous Monday, a motivational Monday, folks, and want to say, hey, just a week away from MLK Day. Hats off to Wendell P. Williams and all those who put on a wonderful parade every year. Yours truly, Galaxy Glenn, want to say thank you for choosing 91.5. Speaking of cake, here's AWB with Cut the Cake on 91.5, Jazz and More. If it wasn't for old school, it'd be no school. I'm listening to their vibe, they're listening to my vibe, and we riding side by side afternoon drive. Up next, more with Miss Angel. Right now, here's the real deal, Peter Gabriel Sledgehammer on 91.5.
Happy fun!
All right. See what I mean? But wait, we got to finish this interview, so we will. 91.5 Jazz and More, side by side, the afternoon drive. And putting a bow on this interview today, a very special guest, Miss Angel
Farrah.
And people are calling. You heard the calls left and right. How do you spell her last name?
So it's F as in Frank, Arrah. You can find me on any streaming platform.
And I had a chance to listen to a couple of your tunes. You played about 4, but Champagne Kisses and Lucky is the bomb. So we'll get it in the right hands, and it has to go through the system. And who knows? You might have some airplay over this way. So I always love finding out new things. And so when I asked you where you were performing, you mentioned you were doing busking.
Yes.
And I said, you mean they don't start at the busing program again? Are they trying to? They did that to me in the 80s. Okay. So busking is, tell our audience.
So busking it's kind of like a form of street performing where you go out, you pull out your backing tracks. You don't necessarily have to have backing tracks, but you bring out backing tracks. You can improv over them, play on top 40 if you know the songs, and, you get tipped for it. It's pretty profitable as well.
Wow. Is that something like did you need a permit, like at Fremont Experience, or?
So on the Strip, no. You should be able to be free to busk. I've had some issues in regards to busking, though, where I was illegally arrested.
For busking?
Yes, out here in Las Vegas.
Wait a minute. Now, okay, all ears is antennas don't went up. They said you didn't have the proper what? What
they said I was obstructing when I was not obstructing, just because, who knows, maybe I was making too much money, but I was not in the way. I was not obstructing. They kept trying to say my speaker was a form of storage of materials when I'm obviously not storing. I'm expressing my First Amendment right. I have freedom of expression.
Okay, all right. Before we get into that, I have a dream speech.
Yeah, I was about to get down. I ain't gonna lie.
And I don't take what you went through lightly, but I do want to make sure that you're structured right. So, are you covered now, or is it wise enough to make sure you just have the permit to avoid that, or how do you avoid that happening again?
Just avoiding the officer. If I see him, just leaving, because it's obviously an issue with that one officer, because harassment is a thing.
Okay, look, curveball, and you stand up, Sister Soldier.
You're
all right, let freedom ring. Well, so you say it's quite profitable. I had a guy tell me that as long as you stay in the circle, you could just stay in the circle. Were you not in the circle or something? Because I understand there's an area where you're permitted to perform, and then there's an area where you have to be on a list, and they tell you, okay, come on down, you can perform at this time. So would it be a safer thing to know the restrictions before you go into the area? Do you know?
Of course, before coming out to Las Vegas, I looked up, is it illegal to perform on the Strip? Because the Strip and Fremont are two different areas. The circles you're talking about are on the Fremont Street Experience.
Okay.
But on the Strip, I looked it up. Is it safe to perform out there? There was no rules entailing that there's no issue with you playing out there as long as you're not in the way of traffic, like standing in between everybody and,
okay. So you're playing the saxophone doing that.
Yes, correct.
And people around you, they're enjoying you.
Heck yeah.
And-
Oh my God, they stop all the time. They always try to take photos with me. It's beautiful.
Okay, and now your sister is interesting. I mean, I've heard her play several instruments, and she's a twin, but you guys don't get along.
Not at the moment. I'm hoping we could reconciliate for sure.
I'm going to pray on it, and it's going to be fixed by the time you get home. That's the opposition mission to cause conflict in relationships. But you guys are one, and that's the important thing to understand that, and she'd be mindful of that. So, listen, I thank you for being on the show. I want to know more about what you're doing. Get your music down here. And I want to encourage you to make sure you're covered when you go out and do street performance, all right? Because we don't want any hiccups. Particularly, you're so talented. Again, ladies and gentlemen, it's Angel Farrah. And Farrah means joy.
Yes,
and you're an angel.
Thank
So
you.
you should expect some opposition. You're going to get some, that's just, it's going to come with it. So, and you continue to shine. I want to encourage all, in fact, I want you to tell me and my audience, young performers who have a dream, what do you say to them?
Say keep strong. You are going to go through a lot of things, ups and downs. But ups and downs are the way of the journey, whether you're winning or losing. Don't take it, don't take it too hard. It's part of the process. And love yourself and be easy on yourself.
I love it. I see that. See there. See, we always see the apples that may not be so ripe. Well, we got a ripe one in here who's endured and want to wish her the best. And your stage name is?
Angel Farrah.
Your name is your stage name. Huh? Born original, why die copycat? Ladies and gentlemen, it's 91.5 Jazz and more. Thank you, our special guest. It's time to get back into music. This is Perfect Timing on 91.5.